Coming to you live from Johannesburg, this is Fridays with Tim Modise. Election season is in full swing in South Africa. The deadline for political parties to submit their candidates list for the elections has come and gone. Now, the Independent Electoral Commission is very busy working on verifying and vetting the candidates lists submitted by parties on Wednesday. As the country waits for the IEC to confirm which parties are competing in the elections, we take a look at some of the names that have been submitted. Advertising icon and businessman Peter Vundla has called for a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to address the high levels of corruption in our country. He argues that this could be more efficient and cost-effective than numerous commissions of inquiry. And Vundla will join me in the studio to discuss how this would work. But I'm also keen to hear your thoughts on corruption TRC, and you can do so by calling us on 011-759-6340, and you can use the hashtag Fridays with Tim Modise. Denny Kaye sparked nationwide debate after he tweeted on racism and white privilege this week, expressing frustration over what he called a lack of empathy by white people. The musician ruffled feathers when he said not enough white people call out racism. We'll speak to him about what led to the tweet and get a response from African singer Chris Chameleon, who says that racism is not as prevalent in South Africa as many people believe. But first, Nicholas Bao with the news.
Thank you, Bratzen. President Cyril Ramaphosa has sent condolences to New Zealand following this morning's massacre at two mosques in Christchurch. 49 people have been killed and several others seriously injured. 3 people have been arrested in connection with the shootings. One of them is an Australian citizen. The attack was filmed and live streamed. More people have been deployed to the area, and locals have been urged to remain indoors while mosques around the country have been closed. Former Deputy Finance Minister Mcebisi Jonas faced tough questions today at the inquiry into state capture. He was being cross-examined by Duduzane Zuma's lawyer. Jonas stuck to his previous testimony, saying he didn't lay a charge when he received death threats because he did not trust law enforcement agencies.
My argument is that the situation at the time was very hostile. It was so hostile that you hardly trusted the police. I never trusted the police. I didn't trust the Hawks. I didn't even trust the intelligence. And in fact, themselves, in the meeting, they made it very clear they are in control of all those structures. And by the way, I believe them. And all evidence shows now that that was not far from truth.
A new judge and a new date will have to be set for the restart of the trial of controversial Nigerian televangelist Pastor Timothy Amato. That's after Judge Mandela Makura recused himself. He says it's in the interests of the trial. Pastor Amato and 2 others are on trial for a range of crimes, including rape. Makura has been accused of being overly sympathetic to a witness and of owning the guest house where the witnesses were being accommodated.
There is no application for me to recuse myself based on this fact. And independently of the opinion of the parties or their legal representatives, I am of the view that the appropriate thing to do is for me to recuse myself, which I hereby do.
Gauteng Premier David Makura has condemned utterances by MEC for Sports and Recreation Faith Mazibuko that were captured in an audio recording. Makura says Mazibuko's behavior is unacceptable. Mazibuko has come under fire for the way in which she's spoken to her staff. In the recording, she tells them they're lucky to have jobs, as certain developments in the province won't employ white or Indian people. Makura says his administration will not tolerate racism and sexism. The matter has also been referred to the ANC's Integrity Commission. Cyclone Ida lost power shortly after making landfall in Mozambique. However, the massive storm still brought heavy rain and strong winds to the country. Reports suggest the cyclone caused power cuts and damage to several buildings in areas around Mozambique. NCA's Dasan Tathia is travelling to Beira with Rescue South Africa, who is in the country hoping to assist.
So basically, In terms of capabilities, we have full aquatic capabilities, and our entire team is advanced life support. So we can give full advanced life support medical treatment, as well as any aquatic emergency that we have. We've travelled with approximately 1.7 tons of equipment. We left Johannesburg within 6 hours of getting that information. And with that equipment, we're going to be obviously assisting the Mozambican government towards any rescue efforts that they might require.
Soweto taxi commuters' pockets are being hit hard. They're having to use alternative means of transport after MEC Ishmael Vadi shut down 6 routes into the townships for 3 months. That's over violence between rival associations that's left 3 people dead in the province. And as ENCA's Aviwe Mtila reports, the operators stand to lose millions.
It's only day 1 of the shutdown, and these taxi owners say they're already feeling the pinch.
Each taxi, plus minus 800, it makes a day. Divide by 1,600.
Millions of rands are at stake. With 420 taxis making 800 rand each, the Nansfield-Dube West Taxi Association will lose around 336,000 rand a day. Over the 3-month period, the operator will be 30 million rand out of pocket. The Witwatersrand Taxi Association, meanwhile, is set to lose 1.2 million a day. In 3 months' time, that loss will stand at over 115 million rand.
It's a total loss, not only to the taxi industry. I think it also affects the community of Soweto at large.
Residents of Soweto have been left frustrated as they now have to fork out more for transport.
We never budgeted for the fact that now I'm using 3 taxis to take me to work, and on my way back, because I knock off at 7, 7:30, I struggle with transport.
It's 12 rand from here to Bara, so now I have to request a Taxify. That will cost me 26 rand.
And the impact isn't only felt by taxi drivers and commuters. The street vendor says he will go into the weekend with meager earnings because of the shutdown. Aviwe Mtila, Soweto.
Many a South African youth skipped school and university today. They marched to the union buildings in Pretoria calling for action against climate change. They were joined by young people outside Parliament in Cape Town and all over the world. The protests were inspired by 16-year-old environmental activist Greta Thunberg, who skipped school on Fridays to protest outside Sweden's parliament. Let's hear what some of our local youth had to say.
I decided to come and join the strike because I saw Greta Thunberg sit outside the parliament, and I thought it was very inspiring. And I definitely agree with her message that the government does nothing about Eskom. About climate change. Like Eskom, they give all the power to Eskom and the Guptas just so they can make money. Our planet is suffering.
So I think it starts with the youth making it something popular, something cool, something that people want to be a part of. Because there is that mentality of FOMO in the youth culture, and we want there to be FOMO in people who aren't taking action towards climate change.
So we're looking at eradicating our fossil fuels. We want a green electricity, carbon-free electricity by 2030. At this moment, the government is looking at 2050. We want that earlier by 2030, otherwise we're not going to meet our goals. We need to revise our policies on livestock farming. This is currently a major contributor which we are very comfortably ignoring.
I just wish in 10 years' time the world will go vegan and climate change will stop.
So you are vegan?
Yes.
And you look pretty healthy and happy?
I am.
Okay.
That's all the news for this hour. I'm back at 9 for another update. Back to you, Brighton.
And thanks very much, Nicholas. Still ahead, political party candidate lists are out, and we'll be speaking to political analyst Ongama Mtinka about some of the names that have been nominated for parliament and provincial legislatures.